Well, thanks, Larry. As this government shutdown continues, federal employees and contractors in our area and across the country are feeling the impact hard, and many people don't know how they are going to survive financially.
So here are some tips on how to manage during the shutdown is financial professional Tavon Jackson. Welcome back.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going through the shutdown. There's no end in sight right now. So what options do people have? What should people know?
Well, the first thing I would say, I never recommend taking money out of your retirement plan because it's hard enough to retire when you're doing the right things. But if there is an emergency and you can't pay your home or you can't put food on the table, then you have to look at those options. So with the thrift savings plan, you have two things you can do. You can withdraw money or you can take a loan. So I don't recommend withdrawing money because what's going to happen is you're going to, one, pay taxes. Two, you're going to pay a 10% penalty if you're not 59 and a half. And three, they're going to restrict you from putting more money in for 6 months. But if you take a loan out, then there's no taxes, no penalties. You have 1 to 5 years to pay that loan back with interest. So you just really want to make sure you talk to a financial professional to determine which one you should do. But all you do is go to tsp.gov, look at the form TSP 21, and that's how you process the loan for the TSP. But I do not recommend taking out a withdrawal.
Okay, now are there any loans specifically tailored towards these furloughed employees with no or low interest?
Yeah, there's a lot of loans out there. I know Navy Federal Credit Union's offering $6,000 0% interest-free loan, and also Transportation Federal Credit Union is offering $3,000. Also with your IRA, some people have IRAs, maybe they're self-employed, or what you can do is that you can actually take money out of your traditional IRA as long as you put it back in 60 days. So if you have an IRA, maybe you've changed jobs and you rolled over a plan, you could take it out and put it back in 60 days without any penalty and any taxes. If you have a Roth IRA, then that money has already been taxed. So you can pull that money out tax and penalty free as well, but only what you've contributed. So if you put in $10,000 and it's grown to $15,000, you can only take out that 10.
So people have options. It's just a matter of knowing the facts and knowing which one is right for them with the least amount of penalties. Because we don't know how long this is going to go on, but it's also good for us to know this in case anything is to happen, emergencies in our lives.
And there's resources out there. You can talk to your financial advisor, or you can actually call the TSP Thrift Line. And when they put that automated teller up there, just push pound 6 times, they'll get somebody right on the phone for you. So
keep hitting pound.
Keep hitting pound.
All right, so you also advise people to insure their retirement plans. I didn't know there was such an insurance.
There's a lot of people out there who had no idea about this. So we get insurance on our home, insurance on our car, appliances, but they don't realize that you can actually insure your retirement. So this doesn't apply to everyone, but if you are 59 and a half or older and you're still working for the government, you're actually able to move your plan out of there. So you can move your plan directly into an IRA and turn it into a pension. And what a pension is, that's a guaranteed check that you're going to get for the rest of your life. So it's similar to the lottery. When people hit the lottery, they have the option to either take a lump sum, which most people do, and then what happens? They end up spending it down.
They're
and going
broke in 3 years.
Broke in 3 years. Or you can actually get a check for the rest of your life, which most people don't choose, but you should. So you can live your best life every month, spend everything, but then the next month you're rich again. So that's why a lot of people should insure their plan if they have a TSP, they're 59 and a half or older and still working for the government, or they have an old 401k out there as well.
And then you say contact your creditors.
Sure. I always say contact your creditors before they contact you. Because we had a couple of clients who had life insurance policies, and they called me and said, hey, I don't think we can make the premium payment this month because we're worried about it lapsing in the shutdown. So we actually called the companies together, and not only did they understand what we were going through, they gave us till March to make a payment. And that wouldn't have happened if we didn't reach out to them ourselves. So anybody that you owe money to, make sure you give them a call, because what's the worst they can say? It's no.
You can always ask.
Always ask.
The worst answer is always no. And they all know that what you're going through. I mean, if you don't know the government shutdown and what the situation is, they know what's happening.
Exactly.
Okay, so assuming this shutdown ends soon, we'll all kind of keep our fingers crossed on that one. What can people do to prevent this type of financial distress in the future in their own personal economy? We can't control the government or politicians, but we can control what we do.
Exactly. So the biggest thing, this whole thing comes down to a lot of people are living paycheck by paycheck. And also, a lot of people do not have an emergency fund. And if you work with any financial professional, or you listen to a financial professional, Susie Orman, Dave Ramsey, what's the first thing they say? 3 to 6 months living expenses in a bank. So the problem is we don't have that. So a lot of people are paycheck by paycheck, and we don't even have a week worth of savings. So I think if you set aside money each month, once the government shutdown ends, I think we'll be okay the next shutdown if you have that 3 to 6 months.
And I want to ask you real quick before we let you go,
Sure.
because there's all the talk about some of the workers that are going to have to file for unemployment or find other streams of income. How could somebody do that? Because I know there's rules and restrictions for the government workers.
Yeah, I would say your biggest asset is your ability to make money. And you should never let any individual, any corporation, any government stop you from getting a paycheck. So you have to do what you have to do. There's nothing wrong with driving Uber. There's nothing wrong with renting out one of your rooms for Airbnb. You have time. It's been a month. You could have got your real estate license, your life insurance license. I heard about a few people who had a cheesecake business making a lot of money doing that as well. So maybe it won't be profitable for you right away, but it will put you in a position that next time this happens, if it does happen, you're going to be good.
Tavon Jackson, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Powerful words from a financial professional. We'll be back with more Great Day after this.